Today I am going to Joshua Tree. I have a tour scheduled at Keys Ranch at 1 o'clock. I wanted to have the morning to kind of like de-stress a little bit. It's not working so well. I thought I was checking out of the hotel tomorrow, but it turns out I am checking out today. So I had to get everything packed up, and then one of my my cables to my cell phone stopped working, so I couldn't charge my cell phone. I found another cable, so that's working okay. And so also, Joshua Tree has no cell service. It has no GPS. You're going to get no internet. So you need to have a physical map of where you're going to go. So I need to head into the hotel before I check out and get all of that printed out. And I haven't even had my coffee yet. This day hopefully is going to go better than it has so far. So I'm going to go in and get the directions printed out. I'll be right back. All right, so I have the directions. Look at this map. It's not real detailed. I have no sense of direction, so hopefully that's going to be enough to get me through. I am going to try to stop at the visitor center to get a better map. But the visitor center is usually pretty crowded with people trying to come in. If you're going to go to Joshua Tree, I recommend getting a pass ahead of time so you can just wave the pass and go on in, which is what I would like to do. But I think I'm going to have to stop and get a map of the park. Anyway, next stop has got to be coffee. Then, also in Joshua Tree, there is no food, no water, no gas, if you are going to go, you need to have food and water with you. So I've got to go to the store and get that. You can see this day is going to be a bit discombobulated. Anyway, the adventure awaits. Let's get on it. My coffee. All right, the rest of the day will be perfect. So I have my groceries, and I brought the this container from home since I was driving and not flying, so I'll load everything up in here and then we'll hit the road. All right, one last stop before we hit the road. I'm gonna go through a drive-through and get some food to eat so I'm full when I get into Joshua Tree, and then the rest of the snacks in the back should keep me plenty fed and hydrated through the rest of the day. All right, I have my very nutritious meal here. The drive-through line was ridiculous, so I just decided to go in and get it. So I have my food and I have the water. Oh wait, the water is still in the back. All right, so I have my food, I have my water. Joshua Tree is about an hour from here. It's 10 o'clock. The tour starts at 1, so I am great on time. Let's get started. The drive from Palm Springs to Joshua Tree is a rural scenic highway that takes about an hour or so. The visitor center is right off Highway 62 on Park Boulevard. So I made it here to the visitor center. I'm really surprised there's not a line out here. Every other time I've been here, which has been later in the spring, it's been about a 30-minute wait to get in. I already had my pass, I had it ready so I could just, show it and go in. And turns out I don't need it. I was able to get my Joshua Tree map, so I feel much better going into the park with an actual map. Since Google Maps isn't going to work, you have no internet at all. Truly the wilderness. All right, let's keep going in the park. I had forgotten that the visitor center is about 5 miles from the actual park entrance, which is why there wasn't a line. Here's the line I was thinking of. It's not too long today, and even though I have a pass, I have to get up to the bypass lane to bypass the people paying to get into the park. All along the road, you're going to find these pull-out areas that have kiosks or boards that tell you something interesting about this area. It's actually pretty cold here. It was warming up in Palm Springs when I left, but it's pretty chilly here now. Keys Ranch is about 10 miles from the park entrance, and part of that is on dirt roads. All right, it is 12:15. The tour starts at 1 and the instructions were to get here 15 minutes early. So I wanted to get here early to make sure I didn't miss it, because if you miss the entry time, they lock the gate. There is no entry for latecomers. And I thought I would be the first person here. I am happy to see other people had the same idea. So there are several of us here early. You know how sometimes something that seems like a bad thing turns out to be a good thing? Today is one of those days. I was really upset this morning when I realized I had misjudged my hotel and had to check out a day early. But because of that, I have my luggage with me with all my clothes, and it is so cold out here. So I have a chance to put on a couple of other layers to keep me warm, because this is going to be an hour-and-a-half tour. I would not survive it in this cold with just this one pullover. So super happy that I screwed up now. At 1 p.m., we lined up and drove single file up to the ranch. The gate was closed and locked behind us, and the tour began. In 1862, in the midst of the Civil War, Congress passed the Homestead Act, which allowed people who had not taken up arms against the U.S. to apply for up to 160 acres of land out west. If you lived on the land and improved it for 5 years, it was yours. In 1917, William Keyes got his 160 acres through the Homestead Act in what's now Joshua Tree. He lived here until he died in 1969 at the age of 89. This is one of the only homesteading sites that still exists, and that was by design. Keyes was an ingenious man, and he realized that what he had built was a piece of American history that should be preserved. And look at all the stuff he preserved. Part of that was because even today, Keys Ranch is remote. So if you needed something, you couldn't just go to the Target and get it. So he kept everything. Look at these appliances. He ordered these from Sears and Roebuck, another cultural remnant of American history. Here's a photo of Keyes outside his cabin. The photo isn't dated, but it's close to the end of his life. Here's the cabin. We couldn't go in, but we could look in the windows. Believe it or not, Keyes and his wife had a huge garden behind their house. They sold fruits and vegetables to their neighbors. They had pears, peaches, apricots, plums, crab apples, and watermelon. When the Park Service took over the ranch, they let the garden go. These trees are pear trees, the last remnants of a once vibrant vegetable garden. The park ranger gave us a glimpse into the past through the stories and anecdotes about Keyes, his wife and kids, and life on the homestead. and they were supported by some amazing historic photographs. So that was really cool. I am so glad I went. Now we're going to head to our next stop, which is Skull Rock. One of the nice things about the pullouts is that it makes it easy to do a U-turn. I got lost not once, but twice trying to get to Skull Rock. I have no sense of direction, and my life is hard without Google Maps. But I did finally find it. Behind me is Skull Rock. You can see it is very, very popular. Everybody, though, is usually pretty thoughtful about taking their pictures quickly and then letting the next person take a picture. But you just kind of line up and work your way in. You can climb up through this narrow gully to get to the top, and you get a better shot down. But this is a fun tourist spot. So it has warmed up quite a bit. I would say it's mid to high 40s now. It feels really good. But the sun is starting to head low in the sky. So I think I'm going to have to pass on Arch Rock and the Cactus Gardens, and I'm going to head up to Keys View. I brought my tripod with me. I want to get it set up, and I want to try and get some really good shots of the sunset. So I have just parked up here at Keys View. The sun is getting ready to set, and the temperature is now dropping again. But I think I have time to get my tripod set up and get everything ready for my camera. Oh, this is going to be a great sunset. I'm not gonna lie, that was hard because it was so cold. The temperature is dropping, the wind is whipping. I'm sure it was like in the 30s or the 20s. It was like really, really freezing cold, and I didn't have any gloves. I let my hair down to keep my ears warm, and that helped, but I was woefully unprepared for this. But what a fantastic show that was. I love sunsets, and so it was totally worth it. I'm back in the car, and I've had the heater on. I've been sitting here for a while warming up. Now that I'm thawed out, I can appreciate the experience a little bit more, but I almost quit several times and just came back to the car, and I just kept thinking, you don't have to do this. You've seen sunsets before, but this beautiful, beautiful glow afterwards, it's just stunning. Anyway, that is Joshua Tree. I hope this helps you find your adventure. Thank you for watching.